Ever imagine owning a piece of Barbie's dream house?
Yeah.
Not like the
Painful.
toy, but like the actual movie's success. It's like wild, right? That's the kind of thing blockchain is making possible in the movie biz.
Yeah. For investors, entrepreneurs, for just, movie fans like everyone listening.
Totally. And that's what we're diving into today, how this tech is going to shake up Hollywood. I mean, from how those big blockbusters get their money to how indie filmmakers, those awesome ones we love, get their shot.
It really is fascinating. Blockchain has the potential to change everything, like how we interact with film, both as fans and investors. It's not just about what happens behind the scenes.
Right. Okay, so let's break it down. Traditionally, getting a movie funded, oh man, it's always been like climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops, almost impossible.
Yeah, and definitely only for, the lucky few, the ones with connections. You'd need like tons of cash and serious connections just to get in the door.
For sure. But blockchain, it's changing that. What
Hmm.
with crypto film funds and things like tokenized assets.
Exactly. And that means, any investor out there, they have more of a chance to support projects that they really care about.
So I'm not just buying a ticket to the next Marvel movie. I could actually own a piece of it.
Yeah. Think of it like, buying stock in a company, but it's for a movie. Platforms like MovieCoin, they're already making that happen. Anyone can, browse projects, see the risks, and invest what they feel good about.
Whoa, that's a game changer. So it's kind of like crowdfunding,
Hmm.
but you get more transparency and an actual piece of what
Yeah,
happens, right?
you got it. And the cool part is, MovieCoin, they have this voting system. Token holders actually have a say in what gets made. That's power for investors and filmmakers.
I love that. Okay, so this has to be huge for indie filmmakers, right? You know, those films with really unique stories that sometimes just like get lost in all the
Yes,
noise.
absolutely. It's like leveling the playing field. Indie filmmakers can bypass those big studios and connect with investors from all over the world, people who actually believe in their vision.
That's amazing. So more freedom for filmmakers,
Yeah.
more chances for investors, and like way more cool, diverse movies for us to enjoy. This is exciting stuff. But I'm thinking about the creative side too, How does blockchain actually protect artists and their work? Because intellectual property theft, it's a real problem in film, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's a big worry, but with blockchain, it's like having this digital vault for all that creative stuff. Scripts, music rights, all those character licenses, you name it. All of it is recorded and verified on, it's called an immutable ledger.
Okay, so like if someone tried to steal, I don't know, your awesome screenplay idea, you'd have proof it was yours.
Exactly. And that's where companies like Kodak come in. They're using all their knowledge to build blockchain platforms just for image and video rights. So photographers, filmmakers, anyone making visual stuff, it's a big deal for them. Like this is huge for getting rid of the power imbalance, getting rid of those studio gatekeepers and making sure people who believe in their work, those investors, can actually reach them. We could see such a wave of unique content now that everyone is freer.
Wow. Okay, so we've got funding, we've got protection, but what about getting those movies out there?
Distribution.
Distribution, right, like getting people to actually see them.
Right.
It feels like the studios, they kind of control everything right now. How does blockchain change that?
This is where things get really interesting. We're seeing platforms like Tatu, they're letting filmmakers bypass those traditional distributors completely so they can go straight to their audience worldwide.
So it's like having this like global on-demand film festival. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
It is. More money goes back to the filmmakers, potentially lower costs for people watching. And all these movies that might not have worked with the traditional studios, they can finally find their audience.
That's a huge win for everyone, right?
Yeah.
More films, more control for the creators, and more choices for us.
Right.
But what about the people behind the scenes, The actors, the crew, everyone making it happen. What does blockchain do for them?
Well, one of the biggest things is payment. Think about all the stories about people arguing over royalties in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, all the time. It never ends.
Yeah. But with smart contracts, which are part of blockchain, it can all be totally different. They automate everything. So everyone involved, the big stars to, the lighting crew, everyone gets paid fairly, instantly. And it's transparent.
So no more waiting for months to get paid or wondering if someone's playing games with the money. Transparency and fairness. I like that.
It's a big deal. And while we're talking about fairness, piracy is a huge problem, especially for filmmakers just starting out.
Oh, yeah. It's like a constant battle.
Yeah.
So does blockchain help with that?
I mean, it's not, a perfect fix, but it brings this whole new weapon to the fight. Blockchain can track the movie, see where it's going, and identify illegal stuff.
Hmm.
Makes it way harder for pirates to operate without getting caught.
So it's like a digital fingerprint, right? It follows the movie wherever it goes.
You got it. And for those independent creators, who often don't have the resources to fight piracy on their own, this is a game changer. Like, finally, some protection.
That's awesome. Okay, we've covered like funding, distribution, protecting work, even piracy. But there's one more thing I'm super curious about. And it seems almost like sci-fi, AI writing screenplays.
Ah, yes. This is where it gets really wild. We already have AI powered by all this machine learning actually generating like storylines, characters, even whole screenplays. Imagine an AI looks at like thousands of successful movies, figures out the patterns, and then boom, creates brand new stories. And they're tailored for certain audiences.
Wait, so you're saying AI could actually write a like blockbuster movie?
We're not there yet, but the tech is getting there fast. And when you combine that with blockchain for like funding and distribution, oh man, the possibilities are crazy.
This is blowing my mind. Like it makes you think about, what happens to human screenwriters?
Yeah.
Does AI become this like partner, helping them come up with new ideas, or is it something totally different?
That's a great question. It's something a lot of people are talking about. But there's no doubt this tech has the power to change everything.
Wow. So much to think about. Blockchain's already changing how movies are funded and get out to people, and now AI is coming in to write them. It feels like this huge shift in the industry is about to happen.
And that's what makes it so exciting. It's early, but blockchain's potential to transform film is massive.
Yeah. But it's not just about the technology itself, right? It's about like a much bigger shift in power, isn't it?
You're right. It's about decentralization. It's about giving control and ownership to the creators and giving investors and audiences more access and transparency.
So it's not just about making movies in a new way. It's about changing who gets to make them and how everyone experiences them.
You got it. And that story, it's just getting started.
Wow. This has given me so much to think about. Blockchain and movies. It's way more than just hype. It's changing things right now and opening up so many possibilities for filmmakers, for investors, for movie fans, for everyone.
Yeah, it really is an exciting time. Like, we're seeing real change happening. But I think it's worth, diving a bit deeper into how blockchain actually helps investors and movie fans, like you said.
For sure. I mean, who hasn't like dreamed of owning a piece of a movie?
Yeah.
But it's always been like this super exclusive thing, right? And
Yeah.
only for the super rich.
Right. Like, you practically needed like a vault full of gold just to get started. But blockchain is like breaking down those barriers. It's like, imagine owning, I don't know, a piece of Barbie's dream house, but not the toy, like an actual piece of the movie's success.
Okay, I'm liking this already. But how does that actually, work?
So think about it. You could invest in movies you really believe in, even if you don't have a ton of money. That's what these crypto film funds are all about. You buy these tokens and they like represent a share of the movie's profit.
Oh, okay. So it's like buying stock, but for a movie.
Yeah, exactly. And it's becoming way more accessible. You don't need to be like a Wall Street person to do it. Platforms like MovieCoin are making it possible for anyone. Browse projects, see what the risks are, and invest what you feel comfortable with.
This is so cool. So like I could be scrolling on my phone, see a cool indie movie, I don't know, like a time-traveling cat movie or something, and just like decide to be an investor.
That's the idea. And it's not just, about making money. It's about like supporting the kinds of movies you actually want to see.
Yeah, because let's be honest, sometimes the big studios, they just keep making the same movies over and over again.
Right. There's like the sequel fatigue. But with blockchain, there's this chance to like shake things up, give filmmakers more freedom, let them connect directly with their audience and make those like unique, original movies.
Okay, so we've talked about investors, but what about, us regular movie fans? How does blockchain change things for us?
Well, think about all those annoying geo restrictions on like streaming services. You know how you can't watch certain movies depending on where you live.
Ugh, yes.
Ah.
I've tried like every VPN trick in the book to get around those.
Yeah. But blockchain, it could create this like borderless experience for movies. Imagine access to any movie, anytime, anywhere, no more geo blocks.
Now that would be amazing. No more frustration. Sign me up.
Right. And platforms like Tata too, they're already working on this. They're using blockchain to like break down those barriers. So filmmakers can reach a global audience and people watching have access to way more movies.
And since blockchain gets rid of like the middleman, does that mean movies could be cheaper for us too?
It's definitely possible. Plus, more money goes directly to the creators because of how the payments work with blockchain. So it's like helping to make the whole system fairer.
So it's a win-win for everyone, the filmmakers and the fans.
It looks that way. And it's not just, about access and cost. Blockchain could even change how we interact with the movies themselves.
Okay, now you've got my attention. What do you mean?
Remember we talked about AI and interactive storytelling?
Oh yeah, like choose your own adventure movies. That would be so cool.
Exactly. Blockchain could be what makes that possible.
Uh,
Imagine you're not just watching, you're part of the story. Your choices change what happens next, like a really immersive experience.
it would be like stepping into a video game, but with an amazing movie story.
Yeah, who knows what kind of new genres and ways of telling stories could come out of this.
It's crazy to think about, but before we get too lost in the future, I think we should be real. Blockchain is still new, right? Are there downsides or challenges?
Oh, for sure. Every new technology has its growing pains. One big one for blockchain is scalability.
Right.
For it to really work in Hollywood, it needs to be able to handle tons of data and transactions really quickly and smoothly. And some platforms are still working on that.
So there are some technical things to figure out before it really takes off.
Yeah. And then there's just getting people to use it. For blockchain to really work, everyone needs to be on board, not just the early adopters. We're talking studios, distributors, and of course, people like us watching the movies.
Right, it has to be easy to use for everyone.
Exactly. And there are, the legal and regulatory stuff to figure out too. As blockchain gets bigger in movies, governments are going to need to figure out how to oversee everything.
So there are definitely challenges, but also like so much potential. It seems like we need to be both excited and cautious as we move forward.
I think that's a great way to put it. Blockchain's not a magic solution for everything, but it's a powerful tool, and it could help create a whole new generation of storytellers and a film industry that's, fairer, more accessible, more innovative.
Uh-huh.
It's a journey worth taking.
Man, it's amazing how much we've covered, from the techie stuff of blockchain to how it could literally change Hollywood forever.
It has been a wild ride. As we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's good to step back and look at the big picture.
Okay, yeah. Zoom out a bit. What do you see?
Well, what I see is this huge shift in power happening. For decades, the movie industry has been controlled by a few big studios, the gatekeepers. They've decided what stories get told, who gets money, and how we actually watch those movies.
It's always felt like this exclusive party that only a select few get invited to. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But blockchain's got the power to crash that party and
Yeah.
open the doors to everyone.
So it's not just about changing how movies get made. It's about making the whole industry more democratic.
Exactly. It's about giving those creators, the filmmakers, control over their work, letting them connect with investors and fans directly. They can make their own path.
So we could see way more diverse stories, more original ideas, and more filmmakers from all kinds of backgrounds actually getting a shot.
Absolutely. And it gives more power to us viewers and investors too. We get to choose what we support, what gets made, and even share in the success.
It's we're not just watching anymore. We're actually part of the whole process.
Exactly. Blockchain can turn the film industry, which has been this closed system, into this open, collaborative space. Everyone has a voice now. Everyone can play a role.
I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the future of movies after all this. You should be. But, with any big change, there are going to be challenges. We talked about scalability, getting everyone to use it, and figuring out the rules, all stuff we need to work through.
Yeah, it's important to be excited and aware at the same time.
Absolutely. Blockchain is not, some magic fix for everything, but it's a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And it could help create a whole new generation of storytellers and a movie industry that's fairer, more accessible, more creative. It's a future worth fighting for.
This whole deep dive has been mind-blowing. Blockchain and film. It's a thing, and it's already happening, opening up all these possibilities for everyone. It's a story we'll definitely keep following as it unfolds.
Yeah, and as we close out our deep dive here, I want to leave you with this. Now that blockchain is making movie making more open, what stories are you most excited to see? What role are you going to play in shaping the future of movies? Those are the questions I want you to think about as we head back to, the real world, to this new world of blockchain and entertainment.
And that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey into blockchain and film. We hope you learned something new.
And keep being curious, keep exploring, and never stop believing in the power of stories. They really can change the world.